Good day, people. Today's show brought to you by Mary's Miracle Cream. It's the real deal. Wouldn't say it if it wasn't true. The real deal. Mary's Miracle Cream. Hey, did you know today was 4/20/2020? Try saying that a couple times. Today's 4/20/2020. Just feel like saying it. So today's numerology, 4/20/2020 is 64. Add the 6 and the 4 together, you get 10. Add the 1 and the 0 together, it's 1. Angel number 1, message. It's the message of the day from your guardian angel. And it's that your guardian angel will lead you through hard times. That's what the number 1 is, the message. If you see the number 1, we're in a number 1 day. Your guardian angels will help you weather the storms of your life and bring you to a place of happiness and contentment, and your part is believing that. We got a deal. Your only part is believing in that. If you believe in that, the deal's done. So, guardian angels, good to be here today. If you heard this terminology recently, sea salt has become very important. I'm standing there in the chip section and making a decision. You got to make a decision on what chips you're getting. So I'm looking at it, and one has a bag of chips, the other one has sea salt. Seems to be getting very important. Then I took it as a command, like sea salt. So I pulled the bag down, turned it to the ingredient side, and you know what I saw? Yeah, salt. Still bought it. Hey, they used to say this to me all the time at school. For no reason. Eyes on your own paper. All right. I had a wandering eye. I always found that pretty smart. I mean, who's smart? The guy that studies all night, or the guy that sits beside the guy that studies all night and works out a whole operation to get his paper over to your paper? I mean, who's going places in life? I'll tell you who. We both know. So I'm listening to this training material today, and all the training material today came from the YouTube. I was on the YouTube listening to the teachings of Abraham. Abraham. Ever heard of Abraham? It's like Beetlejuice if you say it 3 times. Abraham. So I wrote some things down about it purposefully so I could assume their frequency on purpose. Trying to assume Abraham's frequency by writing their words down, looking at it, talking about it. And the first thing I wrote down, because it got my attention, was things are always changing and everything's temporary. So get in the game. I added that get in the game part because I could use that to know that everything is temporary. Ever hear this? Something happens to you, they walk up to you, this too shall pass. And you're like, I wish you would pass. Why don't you just pass? You too shall pass. But what I got out of it was things are always changing. So just relax, because they can't stay the same. It's not possible, so it's all good. Also found this out. They said you're an extension of source energy. That's pretty good news. And acknowledgement of the source is really good for you. Think about it. If you can acknowledge that there's a higher power, acknowledgement of the angelic realm, acknowledgement of the source is really good for you. I'm talking better than pomegranate. Remember that was good for you? Avocado, it's a superfood. They're saying acknowledgement of the higher power is more powerful than fish oil. Goji berries, remember that? That was important. CBD oil. The same thing we've been teaching over and over. Song Turning Japanese, it just came on. So I'm going to go on to the next song. It's nothing personal. Remember that? There you go. We're hanging tough. You gotta hang tough, people. All right? Come on. We're gonna lay down? Is that what we're doing? We're gonna lay down to it all? Okay. Have it your way. But this says acknowledgement of the higher power, stronger than goji berries. What I wrote down is, once again, all that is all there is, and that's all there is to it. So the game has to be about all there is. So sometimes it takes a world crisis for people to turn their attention to their higher self or God, the Almighty. It has to be a big deal to finally start praying. You know what I found out? Everything I talk about and think about is a prayer. Yeah, let that settle. Let that settle for a while. Everything I think about, everything I talk about, everything I whisper, everything I talk about on the phone, everything I text, everything I privately think about in the shower, prayer. Man, I better get that under control. It's called illumination. Haven't seen it not work yet. Come on, bring something. What do you got? You got scaly? What do you got? Bring us the thing you got. I want to see it. We're gonna get you on this and see what happens. Don't come in here with just a little rash. Come in with something serious, because we want to test this out on it. So far, it's worked on everything. Think about it. So when I was a kid, I had this party at my house. Imagine this, I'm having this party, and big party goes down, and in the morning, it was around Christmas time, and it was a big ordeal because my dad couldn't find his new duck boots. Remember duck boots where everyone wore duck boots? Where's my duck boots? They were brand new, Christmas time. We can't find these duck boots anywhere. We did some research, and look at what we found out. We called some people around that were at the party, and we found out that Moose Cherry, hey Moose, shout out to Emporium, Moose Cherry wore them home. Comes to the party, Moose Cherry wears my dad's boots home. I'm like, oh God, Moose, we gotta get those back. And Moose being Moose, you know what he says? We're gonna have to wait till 4:30 because my brother wore them to work. The moose was loose that night, baby. The moose was loose. So yeah, eyes on your own paper. Why? You know what that's gonna look like? You have any idea what this paper's gonna look like if I keep my eyes on my own paper? So I wrote it down about Abraham. Abraham. Yeah, it's the Beetlejuice thing. Your guardian angel's activated the same way. You gotta hold it long enough for it to activate here in this world that there's a buffer of time. You can't just go guardian angel. You gotta hold the signal long enough. Knock 3 times on the ceiling if you want me. Abraham's words: as you acknowledge the source, you invite the source. As you acknowledge pure positive energy, you invite pure positive energy into your life. There you go. Acknowledgement is an invitation. Whatever you're looking at, you're inviting. I'm like, I gotta start paying attention to what I'm looking at. For God's sake. For God's sake. That's a literal statement. Yeah. You ever have a good lemonade on a hot sunny day? That's what's happening right now. And what I'm finding out is manifestation is an indication of your vibration. That's what their words were. Let's break it down. Manifestation, things happening to you, is an indication of your vibration. Everything that's happening is indicating what you're vibrating like. So right now, I'm vibrating like a cool glass of lemon. He wore the boots home, and then his brother took them to work and wore them. That opens up a whole box of questions, like, would you just wear each other's shoes? Was it a free-for-all? Whoever shoes are by the door? What is happening here? But we did recover those boots. I remember recovering. Those boots got recovered. Another thing I always heard in school was pay attention. After all these years, I'm finding out that attention is currency, and that attention is where God exists. The power of God is in attention, and that's why people want you to pay it. Pay attention! Kids want you to pay attention. It's currency. And what I'm finding out is it's what everybody chooses, attention. But your attention is actually electric. It's current. And it causes everything. whatever your attention's on. Because law of attraction is responding to your vibration, which is dictated by what your attention's on. So the game is, can I get my attention on the things that I choose? Instead of monitoring everything, the advice from Abraham is start choosing things by how they feel. There's only two polarities, a minus and a plus. Start choosing everything by how it feels instead of thinking about it. Choose positive feeling thoughts, conversations, TV shows, songs, memories. Choose positive memories, like those boots. Imagine I had to go to my dad and say, yeah, those boots are coming back at 4:30. Why 4:30? Well, here's the story. The first question he asked, who's Moose Cherry? I'll tell you who Moose Cherry is. He was born, his mom and my mom were in the hospital together. They're right in the same hallway. We were being born at the same time, one day apart. I bet they didn't know during that whole time when we were being born in that hospital that one day he would wear those boots and then his brother would wear them to work and then he would make the YouTube. The moose is loose. The moose is loose. So my attention, what's my attention on? What's my attention on? We're on a one day, 4/20/2020. One. Your guardian angels will help you through these hard times. Your guardian angels will lead you to peace and contentment, but you got to activate them with your attention. We have to stop talking about things we don't choose and lead conversations to things that we do. Here's what I'm finding out in my laboratory. You withdraw your energy from something, it has to go away. If you don't want something, you no longer want it, quit talking about it. If there's something you want rid of in your life, quit looking at it. Certainly don't text it out. Don't tell your best friend. Don't post it on the Twitter. So I'm like, okay, this is starting to make sense to me. It's just starting to make sense. So I was keeping my eyes on paper one day. And at that moment, I realized something. I realized what's really going on here. God's in charge. See you on the next one.